Welcome back to the channel. We are finally going to be looking at some NFL picks with the season just a few days away. We're going to get treated to a great game to kick us off for this 2023 season with the Lions and the Chiefs. I have 5 props I want to share with you guys for prize picks. Got a lot to talk about in this video, so let's get started. If you're new to NFL season on this channel, I typically do DraftKings FanDuel lineup advice too. I'll be doing that. Doing a lot more price picks recently, so I'm going to stick with price picks as well, but stay tuned for DraftKings and FanDuel first looks and final looks and core plays for that. If you're still interested in those types of lineups, you can visit my website and get season passes there, put weekly passes. Maybe I'll have something for price picks if you guys are interested on the site as well. But I want to give you guys 5 props that I like for this Thursday night opening game kickoff. So before we get into that, if you haven't signed up on Underdog Fantasy, they're $25 Best Ball Mania. You got a few more days to get into this one. It is 94% full, 15 million up in the prize pool, 3 million to first place. If you use my code PROCESS, they will match your first deposit up to $100. So you'll be able to use some of that deposit match to get a couple of entries. If you do the full 100, you get 4 entries there. And I've done a few of my own. Couple in the big dog, so it's just a fun way to have some season-long just kind of sweats going, and especially if your team gets off to a good start, you're gonna be looking at that every week, and it's just another fun way to play some NFL fantasy. So let's get into this video. If you guys enjoyed the channel, appreciate it. For the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, helps this channel grow, and let's get started. So got 5 props like I mentioned. First one that we are looking to is going to be going to Kansas City, taking Travis Kelce over 80.5 receiving yards. This prop I like a lot. These two teams typically don't play each other. I mean, Travis Kelce last played the Lions in 2019. He got over this number. Kelce is going to be Mahomes' main weapon. Obviously this season, a couple years ago, losing Tyreek Hill just helped Kelce last year. We saw him without Hill for the first full year have a great season, and this year losing Juju Smith-Schuster, their wide receiving options don't have much experience. You got a lot of young guys there besides MVS, but Kelce 80.5 just seems like a bargain. He did this a ton of games last year, a ton of games with over 100 yards, touchdown opportunities, and this game has a 54.5 total, I believe. It's going to be a high-scoring affair. So it's one that you want to take advantage of. Targeting some of the pass catching, targeting a lot of overs, I'd say, just in both pass catching and for running backs, just because you expect it to be a high-scoring game. The second one that I'm looking to is going over to rushing yards. We're taking Isaiah Pacheco over 55.5. So last season, they were going with Clyde Edwards-Helaire a lot early on. Pacheco really didn't get his opportunities till early November, and when he got his opportunities, he made the most of it. He basically just took the job over. 8 of his last 9 games in the regular season, he got over this number, not even a sweat. A lot of those games were in the 60s, 70s, sometimes 80, 90, 100 plus. He had a huge showing in the postseason with a 95-yard game in the first round, 76 with a touchdown in the Super Bowl against the Eagles. And the Lions, they gave up the second most rushing yards per game last season. And Pacheco is going to get at least, I'd say, 15 carries. Maybe if they want to be first couple of weeks, don't want to use him too much, but around 13 to 17, I'd say, is a pretty good ballpark for a team that gets really lit up on the ground. Love this number for Pacheco at 55.5. It's a bit surprising with the Lions. Maybe early on they use Montgomery more, but at some point, they're going to flip the script to Jahmyr Gibbs and give him a lot more carries. Maybe Montgomery still gets the touchdown opportunities near the goal line, but Gibbs is way more explosive. We kind of know what Montgomery is, and I think I would rather take him over 37.5 than Montgomery, but I'd rather take Pacheco over those two if I had to pick one. Going over now to, if you're looking at passing yards, I think Jared Goff and Mahomes both look really good. The Chiefs left to throw. It's going to be a high-scoring game. You expect the Lions on the road here maybe to be trailing. It's almost a 7-point spread, 6.5. So expect Goff to throw. I think that number looks pretty good. But I'm taking Jared Goff over passing touchdowns. The Chiefs gave up, they were tied for the most passing touchdowns allowed per game last season at 1.8. Jared Goff is going to be firing, especially in this game. They're going to have to throw a lot if it kind of does go how the script is kind of setting up, where the Chiefs get out to a lead and the Lions are throwing, and Goff's throwing for a ton of yards to keep up with them. I like this over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. So unless Gibbs and Montgomery get all the touchdowns, I think Goff 2 touchdowns is a pretty good opportunity to look to. Next up, we are going over to receptions. I am taking Amon-Ra St. Brown over 6.5. This is something that he can do in his sleep this year. Losing Jameson Williams once again, out for suspension for a good chunk of the season. So that's going to help St. Brown even more. Even if when Williams comes back, it's still going to take him a bit to get some chemistry with Goff. But St. Brown has really emerged last season, and it seems like he's going to continue to take step forwards this year based on training camp and just how the Lions are poised to be a lot of team sleeper picks this season. So if you're looking for Amon-Ra St. Brown, if you're looking over to some of his statistics here, last season, 7 catches. He did that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the 17 games. It looks really, really good. I didn't show you guys Pacheco's game log, but as you see, he took over middle of November, and then he was getting a ton of carries, lots of good rushing performances. So you're getting some pretty good spots to take and pretty good data to back it up based on last year's stats, and just you're getting some really good guys at some pretty good odds. So those are 4. And then the final one, we're going back over to Kansas City. Their pass catchers, you have a lot of question marks. You don't know, you kind of know who will start, but maybe they have a lot of guys that they could rotate in. Tony said he's good to go coming back from an injury, but we'll see how much work he gets. However, I really like Jerick McKinnon. He's the veteran in the group. He's a guy that's done it, did it last year. Had a huge anomaly year with the touchdowns, but 18.5 looks just way too low for him, just because of, if you even think he's somewhat close to what he did last year, he averaged 30 receiving yards per game. He had a ton of high target games with 7 to 10 plus targets and a lot of games down the stretch. He was Mahomes' sometimes even like red zone check down option, and he just take it in for the touchdown. So he's going to be out there on the field, passing situations, third down situations. I don't think they're going to be looking to Pacheco yet, because McKinnon does it at a really high level in third down situations, catching the ball. And 18.5, that's just one, could just be one catch that he takes for 20 plus yards. But I expect him to catch anywhere from like 3 to 5 passes maybe, and unless he gets stuffed early near the goal or near the line of scrimmage, 19 yards should be something he can do in his sleep in this game, especially with how high scoring it should be, and I think both offenses will be firing. So that's what I got for this kickoff game. Prize picks, 5 plays. Travis Kelce over 80.5 receiving yards. Isaiah Pacheco over 55.5 rushing yards. Jared Goff over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Amon-Ra St. Brown over 6.5 receptions. And Jerick McKinnon over 18.5 receiving yards. Best of luck. Let me know what you guys think. If you have other questions, put them in the comments. And stay tuned for more videos throughout the week. And I'll catch you all next time.